Please welcome next presenter, Chandri Sekharan.
Oh, yes. Good evening, everyone. Respected chair, participants. At the very outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to present this paper. I'm a teacher educator, a retired principal of a teacher training college, and this is the title of my study, Activities in School 100 Years Ago. It's a historical study through the use of photographs. Okay. Now, we all know Roland Barthes, the French literary theorist. He had brought out a publication, a book about camera. Okay, and this is one significant observation he makes in that the photograph is an extended loaded evidence. It becomes a medium, true on the level of time. So he rates it high, the photograph. This is my presentation overview. I tell you something about the background of my study, the problems, the objectives of my study, the methods, and the findings. Now, this is the background. When the COVID-19 struck, for almost 1 year, schools were closed. Children were missing their friends. They didn't have any activities. They were even missing their teachers, the face-to-face contact. Now, what was happening was, all over the country, it is in India, they were redesigning the school curriculum for virtual learning. Okay. Now, what is the problem here? Teachers, parents, learners, they were all dissatisfied with the online teaching and learning. For almost 1 year, this was happening in India and in many parts of the country and different parts of the world also. Now, I asked myself, what is it that the students are missing in virtual pedagogy? There was something that was missing. So I thought, can we find answers from history? Shall we go back and look at it 100 years ago? So this was what prompted me to look for it. So these are my objectives. I tried to identify and interpret the photographs related to school education 100 years ago. Okay. What is my method? I tried to identify photographs and their related write-ups in books on education 100 years old. Okay, it's not current books, real printed books 100 years old. And I employed the look, see, think strategy. So you look at a book, try to understand, see, and think, try to interpret it. What do you think was the objective of the photographer? Is there anything missing? Kind of related to history and the write-up? So this was the process I employed. This is one book, as you can see. This is very old, okay, published sometime in 1914. This is the write-up in the book. Education now means something more than mere provision for schools. It should care for the physical and mental development. 100 years ago, they said that, physical and mental development. So you see, then children were building pet houses. Look at this, boys are engaged in gardening, not girls. They're building fences. This is real photograph, real evidence. What happened now during COVID? They're not even venturing out of their homes. They're not doing any kind of activity. Okay? What happens when you interact with pets? The kind of feelings that can evoke, the concern you have for pets, nothing is happening. There's another one. This is somewhere in Germany. Gymnastic drill on the playground after swimming practice in the river. 100 years ago. They are not, now what happens now? Children are not venturing out of it. There is no physical activity. Physical education is part of the school syllabus, but that is not there. We think we can teach children in the virtual mode. Here's another one. This is very important. Please read. The formal and mechanical drill of numbers. We know mathematics is difficult for students. Even then it was so. Clear, systematic thinking about numbers in practical situations. They were not teaching numbers. In practical situations, they were teaching it. How? Coordination with elementary science and wood and metal work. Measurement and all this, they try to put it in practical situations. Suppose you learn about angles. How many children are, what do they use? But the practical side they explored 100 years ago. You see? Look at children working in a wood workshop. They're making things. These are primary school children, not adults. Whatever physics, whatever mathematic principle they're trying to apply it. When you're making a model, you see the models they're making, the balance aspect, the weight aspect, the design aspect, the measurement aspect. Here you can see the guillotine which they have made. Here's a windmill they have made. And if it's a functioning model, means science goes into it. So it is not mere numbers that they'll then applying it and learn. Is it happening during COVID-19? The children are shut up in school and you assume that teaching online everything is possible. Here's another one from the Kindergarten magazine. What do they say? Look, they are bringing the sea to the school. They have built a special inlet so the children can play. We never think about it. We assume that buildings are enough. Let them involve themselves in nature. They get to know that. And this is one significant sentence there. Play and exercise should be a lure to the school. It should attract them to the school. Honestly, some of my children, if they ask them, they say, oh, if we go there, the teacher will give you a lot of homework, make you do a work. They're not interested in going there. But to play, they're interested. But what happened during COVID-19? No play, shut up inside the house. Their minds develop there in this field like this. They interact with nature. That was not happening. Here's another thing. The teacher narrates a story. The teacher draws it. You can identify this, the story about the three bears. Using chalkboard, the teacher draws. So visualization, associating with this. Of course, you have modern technology, you can project this, PowerPoint you can use and all that. But the actual drawing it's also a skill that they can learn when the teacher draws. This is lost. This was happening 100 years ago in primary classes. Here's another one. This book was published in 1918. This is about education in India, 1918. There are plenty of visuals in this book. I'm just showing you just one. Children in primary schools, or maybe in high school, they were doing laboratory work. You see, this is a chemistry lab. Incidentally, my daughter recently completed a standard 9 without even seeing the laboratory. No practical, because it's COVID-19, school was shut for 1 year. 100 years ago, they found it's important, and we are ignoring this. Here's another one. They used to foster the ability to draw. This was a drawing competition. And you can see the reflection on the river, a competition for children. Can we draw like this? Do we teach our children to draw? This is drawing, and see the reflection of this. These were part of the syllabus of the curriculum 100 years ago. And do we do that? Here the student has to be before the teacher draw. The presence of the teacher, drawing in front of the teacher is very different when you are doing a virtual teaching. It's not going to encourage, because the teacher has to hold their hands and then help them draw the perspective and all that. Is it possible in the online? And we think we are all advanced. See, history has so much to tell you, but we are ignoring it. Okay? So history is our guide. And without a knowledge of history, we are lost. But many people say, oh, education 100 years, so it is outdated. It has nothing to give you. But look at it. I've showed you a few things from which you can do a lot of things. Okay? So these are a few references in the order in which I have printed it. You can see the 1914 publication. Here's another one, 1898 publication. Here's another one, 1907 publication. Here's another one, 1918. These are real books from which I've taken this. I've taken the photograph. I had referred the books. And how did I do that? I was awarded a project from the University Grants Commission, a minor research project. I studied in this college, worked in this college. This is 100 years old. And in that college, we had books that were 100 years old. How did it help me? I referred these books, took photographs, and published this in this website, which was called Curator Pedagogue. If you visit this site, you can see some of these pictures there. And that is how it. So this is my acknowledgement to them. Without this project would have not been possible. So photographs tell you stories. Incidentally, this photograph here you see, this is one of the oldest photographs of underwater photography here in the middle. Please visit the website. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Kadri Selim.